Hello there! So this is my review of Nightmare Alley. Yes, Nightmare Alley. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, yeah. So this stars a lot of actors and even a few actors with just a few cameo roles here and there, which is really interesting. It was an interesting film to say the least. It was kind of an old school Hollywood, 1950s kind of a movie. I know I did look it up. There was like a movie of the same name made years ago. I don't know if it's the exact same film or whatever, but yeah, it was a very interesting movie, and it made me think, a lot about it. Actually, I didn't just. I watched it last night, because I wanted just to kind of think about it, and I'm glad I did. And I've actually I didn't watch it last night. I watched it the night before, because last night I watched the. No, I did watch it last night. I watched the Oscars. I just watched the Oscars tonight, because they don't air live in Ireland. The RTE show it like the day after, so I watched it today. There's where I'm getting confused because the Oscars were on last night, but it was anyway. So I did get 4 Oscar nominations, for like best cinematography and all that. It didn't win any Oscars. It cost $60 million to make, but it only made 37.8 million at the box office, so it bombed basically. And it wasn't the only movie that bombed. West Side Story bombed. Actually, the majority of films nominated for Best Picture just bombed at the box office. The film that won it was on the streaming service, so it only made like $1 million because you have to have these films in so many movie theaters for it to get a nomination, you see. So it just did the quota, made it like it didn't care how much it made, and that was it type of thing. And then whereas Dune was a really good movie, really enjoyed it. But it is a bit boring in places, but I enjoyed it. I'm a nerd. I enjoyed it. I'll get to the whole thing later, but it is mind-boggling that the majority of these movies, you normally get like 2 movies that they're just made for award season. They don't really care about making money, and that's it type of thing. I call them masturbation movies because that's exactly what they are. They're just movies for actors and writers that they make just for awards season, and that's it. But this year there was a lot of those movies, and it's really mind-boggling. This movie Nightmare Alley, it came out just before Christmas, to 2021, and I seen it advertised a little bit, but not that much. Belfast is advertised a lot because I'm Irish and I live in Ireland, so they're going to advertise the hell out of it here. I believe it's supposed to be a good film, but again, didn't make that much money, I don't think. And then the elephant in the room is Spider-Man. The latest Spider-Man film made $2 billion at the box office, 6th highest grossing movie ever, and it only got 1 Oscar nomination. I don't even know if it won it or not. And yes, Oscars constantly say they want to appeal to the youth, and yet they're not nominating any of the movies that they're watching. So, I don't what do you say to that? I don't know. But anyway, that's my little rant about the Oscars. It's just they're just making these movies for, I think I said this before, for just awards season, and that's it. They're not making them for the general public. If one goes off, brilliant, but they don't really care. Do you know what I mean? It's just really a few of these. You get actresses and actors in these films too that are just kind of it's just like testing them, test screening them to see if they are good or not. You know what I mean? If they can act alongside these people, these A-listers type of thing. Uh, like King Richard won. Like Will Smith won for Best Actor. King Richard. I don't know anybody who saw that movie. But and of course I saw the whole him getting up on stage and smacking him, Chris Rock. I like but that's Hollywood. Like it's just a bunch of guys that can't take a joke. Basically, they can't really. I mean, Ricky Gervais says that a couple of years ago at the Golden Globes. Like it's just like, make your little speech, thank your God, and get off. Like what I mean. Like it's don't take it seriously, type of thing. Like it's just like they're just jokes at the end of the day, and like but you get so high up in your privilege, you know. But like and then the other side of it is, well, he shouldn't have made that type of joke. I don't know. Like it's just, but it's comedy. Like it's all subjective. Like but like, and they've been friends for 30 something years. So like, why didn't he just talk to him afterwards about it or so? And now they both talked about it on and their apologies are so stupid because a lawyer wrote their apologies. They both apologized on the online, like on social media, and that their lawyers wrote their apologies. Like it's just so stupid. You know what I mean? Like but that's my rant about all of that. So I guess I better talk about the actual movie, Nightmare Alley, that I watched because it was Oscar season, and I thought, well, I seen Don't Look Up, I really enjoyed it. I seen Dune, I really enjoyed it. And they were the only two films that I've seen that were nominated for Best Picture. So I thought, well, I better watch at least one other. So I watched Nightmare Alley, thinking it looked kind of interesting. And it was. It was a pretty good film. It wasn't brilliant, but it was pretty good. And I would kind of recommend it to people who like a good mystery type of thing. So it is about a guy who starts off with he wrapping up a body, and he puts a body in a hole in the foreground of a house, and then he burns the house, and then he walks for ages, and he doesn't say a lot for the first like 20 minutes, half hour of film type of thing. He gets a job in a circus, and then he kind of like you kind of get to understand the other characters in the circus, which is really good. Like backstory is really good, and he's going through all the characters, seeing who he can make connections with, and he made a connection with Electro Girl, like a girl that gets electrocuted, and but his first kind of thing was like he makes friends with a woman who's like a psychic who reads tarot cards and that. But and then that's kind of what he kind of latches on. But her wife, her husband is really good at it. Then is really good at like pretending he can read minds and stuff. But it's all like a trick. But he really he asks him, like the main character asks him, like, hey, can you teach this to me? And of course he starts teaching him then, and it's like it kind of gets the ball rolling then, and that's really good. And so the love interest kind of gets the ball rolling too, and that's the kind of first like hour of the film. I don't really want to ruin all of it. Just like there's dead animals and dead babies in jars and stuff, which is really horrible, but like that's the way it was. Like they did have the freak shows back then in the circuses, and they had a guy locked up in a cage, and he ate like live chickens and stuff, and they were called the geeks. And there was a kind of explained that the geeks are kind of like these drug addict alcoholics, and then they're starving and they need money, and that's how they kind of get them. You know, they pick them up off the railroad tracks and they throw them into the cage, and then they get them just to kind of do these crazy stuff. And then if they get sick, they just throw them at a hospital and then just go and get another one. Like, you know, it's just then the whole rinse and repeat type of thing. And that is really foreshadowing for what happens. That's the thing that kind of annoyed me about this film, because like a lot of this movie is set up foreshadowing for what happens next. And I think as like a media student, like I think kind of college kind of ruined movies for me a little bit, but still I liked this movie. But so then it kind of cuts to, and then I don't know if he actually, I'm getting into spoilers here, but I don't know if he actually, I think he does, because the head of the circus, like, he makes two alcoholic things: alcohol you can drink, and then alcohol for like cleaning and stuff, or something else anyway. But like the guy, the main the main like psychic guy, he you know, he's an alcoholic, so the main character kind of gives him the wrong bottle, I think, and potentially kills him, I think. I'm not sure. It was kind of that, but I think that's what happened. But anyway, so he kind of takes his book of tricks, and he takes his love interest, Electro Girl, and then he just runs off. And then it cuts to 2 years later, and like they're kind of rich-ish, and they're making a good living in this hotel, like, you know, putting on shows every night and all of that. And then it's just kind of like, then they're just kind of, you know, scamming rich people type of thing, and to do private readings and stuff and that type of thing, and seeing like they're legit and all of this, like, you know. But like, you know, this kind of thing used to go on a lot, but like this was set like 100 years. I think it was set during 100 years ago, 1920s anyway. I think, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was. Anyway, doesn't matter. So like, yeah. So I'm leaving a lot of it out intentionally because again, you should watch it. But so, and then it kind of rolls on there, like, you know, he's looking for the next scam, and then he makes friends. The main character, he makes friends with a psychiatrist, and she has tapes of like all these sessions, like she done with all these rich people. So like that's how he kind of, then he sneaks into her office at night time and like listens to the sessions, and that's how he knows then kind of like the secrets then, like, you know. And he gives her like half the money for a safe, and or all the money for the safe, but and she says, oh, I don't want to make money out of this, but she really does, you know what I mean, like, so it really does build up and build up and build up, and there is like a big finale type thing to it. And so I'll talk about my favourite scenes, and like I really like the whole little love interest thing was really good. Like he helped her out, like she just started off with two things, and then he got her into the electric chair type of thing, and that wasn't really electric chair, but anyway, but it was really good. Like, you know, the special effects in this movie, the costume design, all the sets, it was all pretty. It was all really nice to look at. Like, I can't really fault this movie too much, other than it knew what it was. Like, you know, it was just, they just made it for award season, and that was it. Like, otherwise, why didn't it come out sooner? I know they're saying COVID, but still, it could have come out sooner. But anyway, like I think the cinemas were open in the summer in America, so it could have, but it didn't. Like, so it's just, pull. But anyway, I like to talk about my favourite scenes, where that scene, like the love interest type of thing. Really, any scene where something was being told, like explained to the audience, like, the kind of like a magician revealing their secrets. Like that was, I enjoyed a lot of that type of stuff. Because the head honcho guy did like explain what the geek was, and then he explained was collection of like animals and jars were all about, and he explained all of that, which is really good. And it's really a story about a guy going from nothing to everything and then falling again. That's kind of like Citizen Kane type of movie. But it was the acting with it, was really good. Excuse me. And so my favourite scene was kind of the climax of the film, where like he got his girlfriend to dress up like the rich guy's dead girlfriend from the past. And this was the whole thing where he was going to manifest the ghost so that the rich guy could say sorry to her. But the idea was that he was going to get him to kneel down and pray and close his eyes, and then the ghost would disappear. But didn't the rich guy run up to her and say, I'm so sorry, oh, wait a minute, you're not my girlfriend? And it was just like, oh. So then the main character ended up killing him, which was a bit, what? And then they got in the car, and then the bodyguard came running out, and they killed the bodyguard. And I was just like, what? And then he went to the psychiatrist for like help, and I was just like, oh, don't go to her for help. And she like completely double crossed him. Like, he took the money out of the safe, there was all ones, and then she put it on the recorder, was like, oh no, you're going insane now, you're a patient of mine, yet you think like, I'm like your mother, or so you think we're having a relationship, and they really were having a relationship, but she's covering her ass, like, you know what I mean, like, because if it had have worked out, I think the scam would have just kept going, type of thing, but he busted in saying like, all hell's breaking loose, and then that's why she had her out, so it was smart in a way, that type of thing. But the thing of it is, the main character was really smart, but he just got outsmarted by the other characters in the movie, type of thing. Like, you're never as smart as you think, type of situation. So he ended up down in the gutter. He ended up being, like, the psychiatrist as well turned him into an alcoholic. Like, he never used to drink before, but she helped him with his problems of everything, and she got him to drink. And, like, as soon as I seen him drinking, I was like, oh, he's gone. Like, that's it. She completely controls him, type of thing. Like, and she did. And, like, it was just, like, that was probably some of my favourite scenes. There was also a party scene earlier on where, like, the carnies come to visit them, and they have a bit of a party, and the psychic lady tells them to stop, like, and he's like, oh no, we're fine, we're going to be fine, like, type of thing. But, like, if they had have stopped then, they would have made enough money and would have been fine, like, type of thing, to go off, get married, have kids, buy a house, type of thing. And then you could kind of do on the down low, like, but the greedy, it was just basically greed got the better of him, and that's unfortunate, like, that's what happens, and that's what happens in Hollywood the whole time, I guess. Like, you see with sports stars all the time, like, they think that the money's always gonna roll in, and they should be saving the money, because it is when you stop being a sports star, when you have to retire at 35, then that's it. Like, the money's, not all sports stars are going to end up as pundits on the telly, you know what I mean, like, but they think that, and they're just born through their money, which is silly. And that's what happened here, kind of. But But he was smart in a way. He was saving the money in a safe, but he trusted the wrong person, you see. So, you know, and that's, you have to be careful about who you trust. And, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin used to say, don't trust anybody in the business. But, you know, so I do rate it like an 8 out of 10 movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very detailed. It is a type of film that you could do, like, if you were in college, you could do, like, a rags to riches to rags again type of essay or presentation on the rise and fall type of story. Yeah, it was a good movie. I think, you know, like I say, if I had it come out earlier, it would have made money. I think it would have made more money, word of mouth. If things would have been normal, maybe it would have made more money. But like I say, it does feel like it was just made for award season and that was it. Which is a shame, you know. But like so many other films that was nominated for Best Picture this year, in 2022, yeah, that's what it kind of feels like. And it's really sad that that's what, like, Hollywood aren't even trying to appeal to the public, you know, anymore. You know, some of it is like, and that's where, I think that's why so many international films are getting such big, you know, notoriety with my generation and the Zoomers and that, because they know Hollywood's just kind of out of ideas. Like, you know, a Japanese movie won Best International Film, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of good Irish films out this year I recommend. There was a good Irish film that's actually in Irish about an orphan girl. She goes to live with a new couple, and she kind of unravels her story. Haven't seen that movie yet, but it is really good. It has won at some awards. I would like to see Belfast. It is supposed to be genuine enough. They did actually win, I think, Best Original Script or Best Screenplay or something. The writer of it. The next film I'm going to watch is Murder on the Nile, I think. And the main character in that, the actor, he actually wrote Belfast. So, what was it called? Anyway, so I think I'm going to watch that next. Should be interesting. So like and subscribe. I should have said that at the beginning. Like and subscribe. Thanks for getting me to 300 subscribers. I'd like to get to 1,000. I think if I get to 1,000 subscribers, my channel would really start growing. Check out my other videos. Check out my other movie reviews. Check out my channel. Check out everything. I think. Yeah, I think I've talked about everything I really want to talk about. So that's it. And I bought a new light. Here it is, yeah. I got it a little. It was only like €25. It's grand. It does the job. I plugged it into my Blu-ray player and it works. But it's after going off because the Blu-ray player went off. Let's see if it goes back on again. Because there's just a light coming down here. But if this light comes on, it actually lights up the rest of my face type of thing. Maybe I should have it over there to light up the rest of my face. I don't know. Is it even working? Oh. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, it lights up the bottom of my face then. Like, you know. So it works. It's good. That's too bright though. See, I was playing around with it before. Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect. Pretty much. Yeah, so like and subscribe, check out my other videos, check out my channel. That's it basically. talked about the Oscars, talked about the movie. I've said all I had to say for so far today about all of this. So thanks for watching, and appreciate your support, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.